You know, but given the examples or cases that you cited, how upon appeal, even at the court of first instance, it got to the Supreme Court, they were upturned. But for these kind of cases, the one for Justice Ademola, for instance, can prosecution amend charges upon appeal, or is it too late?
No, they can't amend charge on appeal. It's a criminal trial where somebody's liberty is at stake. You don't have that privilege of amending. What I'm saying is that based on the facts that led to the ruling on no case submission, it's appealable. The decision may be overturned. The decision may be affirmed. Nobody knows. But like I said earlier, you cannot say that EFCC has federal government, the Attorney General's office has failed in its duty. No. I still give you an example. Ibori's case, 126 counts, they were all dismissed, even without calling any shred of evidence. But half of those counts, he pleaded guilty in London. So you cannot use the judgment of a high court, a court of first instance.
But prosecution has a huge role to play.
Very huge role. Very huge role. Because of the public interest in it, that most of them are rushed to court, the charging, the pressure, charge them, because of the provision of the Constitution, presumption of innocence, and then anybody detained must be tried within a reasonable time. Otherwise, from what I read in the paper again on Ademola's case, there are loopholes that I don't know whether it's as a result of pressure that we are left investigating the link between the money that was recovered, the person who said he deposited the money, and the cases that were in Justice Ademola's court. If you provide the link, he has a case to answer. The judge said that there was no link to show also the illicit origin of the money. The judge said that part of the money found in his house were his own share of the sale of his grandfather's estate. Did the prosecution investigate it? Is it true that their grandfather's properties were sold and was shared? If it is true, is it shared by cash or by transfer or by check? These are the issues. But like I said, I will not blame the judge or the prosecution until I have read the ruling.
Why would you want to go to court, for instance, when you don't have the adequate information that you need and you've not investigated an issue properly because you're an agency of state?
No, it depends on how you appreciate the charge. On your own, because you know, as lawyers, we have different perceptions of cases. Somebody may look at this case and say, the evidence is waterproof. Nobody can escape from the facts here. Another lawyer will look at the file and say, no, some more work need to be done. I give you another example. When the suspects that were charged for killing Obola Ige were arraigned in court, the case file was given to Chief Debo Akonde, SN, to prosecute. And when he got the file, they have already filed the charges. He read through, he said he won't proceed with the matter. That the policemen, the security men that were guiding Bola Ige went to eat at a restaurant. That was their alibi. Nobody went to investigate the alibi. So I won't continue. So they had to record the file and went to investigate the alibi. And then Chief Akonde now agreed to take over and continue with the prosecution. Unfortunately, he died in the course of trial. But he told me that time that these are the loopholes he found in the file. It has already been, it's a high-profile case. Former Attorney General assassinated. But the investigation was shoddy. You are trying people for murder. They pleaded alibi in their statements. We went to the restaurant to eat. You didn't go to the restaurant to ask the people there, did these people come? At what time? So these are the type of loopholes that you find. And it depends on the lawyer that is prosecuting. You will not blame the government, because the government works through individuals. They will hand over the case file, go through it, offer your legal opinion, and if you agree with what the police or the security agencies have done, prefer the charge.
Okay.
And they will prefer.
Let's bring in questions from Mark.
Well, there are a number of issues that you've raised. I mean, definitely, some people will say that, you have said it depends on the quality or the lawyer who is prosecuting the cases. But then there are questions as to the quality of legal advice that the EFCC is getting. Do you have your concerns in that area? Because you have already, differed a bit in terms of the kind of advice you would have given in certain situations.
Well, like I said before, I am handicapped that I have not read that ruling. But the issue of quality of legal advice, you cannot say that the advice is qualitative, quote and unquote, if the person eventually is discharged and acquitted. If he is convicted, you can see that the legal opinion is sound and proper. Just because they have had this setback, then it calls to question whether they give proper legal advice. But one thing I must also point out that the EFCC, and even the federal government, since we returned to the civilian rule, this is the time they are having the highest number of prosecution and investigation since 1999 on corruption. So they are bound to be under pressure. They are bound to make mistakes. But in the end, the most important thing is that let justice be done. The Court of First Instance has given, if they appeal, we hear from the appeal court.